The second announcement will be taken on my behalf by Honourable Professor Mojeed Alabi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Professor Mojeed Alabi. I represent Ede North, Ede South, Egbedore, and Ejigbo Federal Constituency. And I'm from the state of Osun. Mr. Speaker, I announce with heavy heart the demise of a member of this 8th National Assembly, a two-term senator who was also a son of a former senator of this National Assembly. I refer to no other person than Alhaji Isiaka Adeleke, Commander of the Order of Niger, who passed to the great beyond at the age of 62 years, leaving all of us behind. Mr. Speaker, Alhaji Isiaka Adeleke came to this world, saw and conquered. He was a political icon of no mean repute, a shrewd manager of men and resources, and indeed a philanthropist. Born on January 15, 1955, in the present-day Enugu State, he was educated in Enugu, Ibadan, and Ogbomoso for his primary and secondary education, although a native of Ede within my constituency. He later proceeded to the United States of America, where he attended Jacksonville University and backed a bachelor's degree in political science in 1983. He proceeded further to read a master's degree in MPA with specialization in criminal justice in 1985, and later returned to Nigeria to contribute his own quota, which he did impressively to the development of his fatherland. The Gulf, as he was usually called, bestowed the political scene of Nigeria like a giant when he returned from the United States in 1991 to become the first executive governor of Osun State, in which case he left his footprints on the sand of time, and has since then became a constant factor in any political calculation, in Osun State in particular, and in Nigeria in general. The ease and the firm grip which he had on the political scene of Osun at that time earned him the title Sherubawan, translated to mean an enigma. He was a distinguished senator of the 6th Assembly and was returned to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2015 as a senator. He held several other political positions, and I can testify to that. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, as someone who never played the politics outside the progressive fold for once, my political path never came across that of Alhaji Isiaka Adeleke until Providence brought us together 2 years ago to fly a common flag into this National Assembly on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. Since then, my colleague, I have come to know the inner mind of the late senior colleague. I found him a soft-spoken, easygoing person, but with deep commitment to any goals he believes in. I also found him intellectually gifted when he literally lectured me on criminal justice and signaled his intention during one of our several political outings of making the reform of our prison system the cornerstone of his stay in the National Assembly during the 8th Assembly. Unfortunately, the goal could not be realized. He even told me of his undying appetite to earn a PhD when he learned that I had two. He gave me some insights into the spoken and unspoken rules of the National Assembly, which has continued to guide my steps up to today. I also found Alabi Isiaka Adeleke a religious man, even if he was not outwardly considered one by distant observers. Above all, I found the departed Isiaka Adeleke a leader and not a boss. Notwithstanding the sudden providence that brought us together on the same political platform, he shared his ideas with me on matters pertaining to the development of Ede South. Even though he towered above me in any known criterion of human preferment in this earthly world, being older than me in age, richer than me in economic resources, was a governor when I was a mere secretary to a local government, was a two-term senator while I was still struggling to find my feet in this great chamber. He never ignored me for a day. While I was still strong, he never ignored me for a day. Even on issue for which he could easily dictate, he would seek my views, mostly on phones. Even when issues arose that could ignite the cankerous in me, he would calm me down with some words of an elder. Oga Isiaka, as I will call him, was indeed a leader. I testify to that. Ajanaku Subioke, Erinwo, translated to mean the elephant is gone. He said, I can't delegate no more. But his legacy of service and philanthropic humanism remain with us. I urge the family and the members to take solace in the fact that Isiaka uplifted and did not denigrate the legacy left behind by his father, the late Senator Ayola Adeleke. In the midst of this grief, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, and personal sense of incompleteness as a legislator sent on a mission that necessitated continuous collaboration with this departed icon, I cannot but console myself. First, and thereafter, extend my condolences and those of my constituents, political associates, friends and relations to Chairman Dr. Dij, Mrs. Sani and Demola Ekwa Shendi, Farida, Nike and the children Ekwara Feraku, Kabiesi Babatimi of Ede Land, Bami Ogiye of Ejigbo Land, and all the sons and daughters as well as friends and well-wishers of Ede Land. Ogbeni Rauf Adesoji Aregbesola and all the Omaluabis of the state of Osun, my colleagues herein, and all distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the leaders of our great party, the All Progressive Congress, and political associates of our Oga at home and in the diaspora, President Muhammadu Buhari, and all other citizens and residents of Nigeria thrown into mourning mood on account of this early loss. Oh Allah, I testify that this servant of yours was a good man. May the soul of the departed find favor with his Creator, Lord. As we seek his favor to give all of us the fortitude to bear the loss in these trying times and some foreseeable future to come. Amen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleague.
Audience of my honorable colleagues, if I'm able to find my voice to be able to say one or two things about this man who I called in his lifetime Egbon, because in Yoruba culture, age is one of the most important things that we use when we give respect to others. If I'm able to find my voice, I will start by saying that Egbon Adetunji Adeleke was probably the first known Nigerian, a son of a politician whose father was a senator, became an elected governor in Osun at a time when his mates were still trying to grapple with the essence of life. Became governor at the age of 37. And it is on record that Egbon, particularly in the Southwest, was probably the second person who ran a campaign by using helicopter to do it after Awolowo, way back in 1991. Like I said, Egbon was a fantastic politician. He was flamboyant and had one of the most, what I can call, most cordial relationship with his younger brother. Because for those of us who are politicians, for those of us who are close to them, you could not tell in his lifetime the difference between Egbon and his younger brother, Dr. Adeleke, who incidentally is the father of that known, renowned and known musician, Davido. It is also on record too that since Egbon became the governor of Osun in 1981, he consistently contested for the governorship of that state on two different occasions. And in 1999, when Alliance for Democracy came to power in Osun, Egbon Adeleke contested on the platform of All People's Congress, All People's Party rather, APP, and came second. Not a distant second, but very close second. And in fact, it is on record too that the battle shifted to court. And in fact, it was probably the first time again that I saw a governorship election challenged in the law court. Though Alliance for Democracy eventually won from the court, but the man fought a very good fight. In 2003, he contested with Prince Olaguso Yoyilola in the primaries of the PDP. And that primary was conducted on 3 occasions because of the fact that Egbon Adeleke was a very, very, very solid politician. And in fact, it had to take the intervention of the presidency and their party before they could separate who to contest eventually for the general election. In 2007, he became the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by, in my own opinion, replacing his own father, Mr. Senator Dr. Ayola Adeleke, who was a senator of what we call Osun West, in the whole Oyo, of which Ogbomoso is inclusive. And so, his record as the son of a former politician came to limelight again. In 2011, he lost the same election to Senator Mojeed Olujinmi A, and that was when we were able to capture Osun for the Action Congress of Nigeria. In 2015, he came over to our party, All People's Congress, and he won on the platform of APC to represent Osun West. And up to 24 hours before he finally died, Egbedore traversed the length and breadth of Osun, trying to be governor once again. And in fact, it is on record that some 4 months back, between 4 to 5 months back, it was well reported in the newspaper that Yasu Yusuf, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, and Ede Adeleke were sternly warned by the party to desist from going forward for our campaign to become governor in that state. Well reported in the papers. As a good Muslim, when I received information about his death, I couldn't talk. I'm still in shock because Egbedore was very, very good to me. And it's on record too that about 48 hours to his death, one of the few people he visited was my father, because my father too was like a father to all of them. At least Egbedore Adeleke and Ede Adeleke. In fact, Ede Adeleke is like a son to my father because the two of them are very, very close. As a Muslim, I believe Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. God created us. We are going to go back to him. And death is not a necessary end, it's a compulsory end for everybody. So we only take solace, like Professor Mojeed said. He came, he saw, but I can't tell whether he conquered, because as long as you cannot conquer death, then there will always be something left behind for a human being to conquer. We appreciate the level of concern people, Nigerians, have given in the last few days. And I never knew that people can be so concerned about the death of an individual who traversed the political landscape of Osun and Nigeria the way Ede Adeleke did. I can only pray for his soul and pray that members of his family will be able to summon enough courage to continue to live their life in peace. But like I said at the beginning, I'm still in shock, and I wonder why and how I was able to find my voice to be able to get to this level. Finally, honorable colleagues, thank you for giving us this opportunity to celebrate one of our own. As far as I'm concerned, somebody who died at the age of 62, to me, could still be considered as a young man. Because if you walk through and through in life, what is my own guiding principle is the fact that scholars and philosophers have agreed that men are in their best during their 40s. So if you work very hard in life and you did not go through any shortcut, those are the moments you begin to reap the fruits of your hard labor. But I know this man has left behind a formidable family that will be able to carry on what and where he has left. Honorable colleagues, Right Honourable Speaker, thank you very much for allowing us this opportunity to celebrate somebody we consider as a very, very brilliant politician, a philanthropist, somebody who came and contributed his own quota to the development of our own dear state and to the development of Nigeria. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you very much.
Whip.
I want to say he has created a very big vacuum that the people of Osun State, especially his immediate family, would have to strive very hard to fill in. I would like to say, Mr. Speaker, those of us that are remaining behind shall also test death. We are here living, and all of us will individually test death. But before we do, in God's mercy, I will want to urge each and every one of us to continue to take the very good lessons of Isiaka Adeleke, to continue to play the kind of flag, Isiaka Adeleke has flown, and it was no other flag, Mr. Speaker, than the flag of identifying with the common man, helping our people to make sure that Nigeria becomes a greater nation for our people to live. Mr. Speaker, on a final note, I want to say that on behalf of the 7 states of the northwestern part of Nigeria, the zone that I represent here as a principal officer, and by extension, the whole people of Nigeria would like to register our heartfelt concern and register our condolence, and by extension also express our concern and also console the people of Osun State, condole the government of Osun State for the loss of late Isiaka Adeleke. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant Isiaka Adeleke eternal rest, and may also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant his immediate family the fortitude to bear this very irreparable loss. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, honorable colleagues.
From Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is with deep sense of loss that I stand here to talk about somebody who took me as his daughter when I was doing my youth service. It happened at that time that I was posted to Osun State, and somebody said the governor of Osun State, the mother is from Abia, and I said, oh, that's better. So the person took me to government house and introduced me as a little girl from Abia State. He got up from his seat and shouted, one name one, Kedu, Biaka Ega hu mama, meaning, my sister, how are you? Let us go and see mama. From there, he took me himself to Ede, where his mother was residing. The next day, they brought me to government house, and I was living with him, and I served under him at protocol department of Osun State government. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, today I say to this gentleman whose love knows no bound, a lover of the poor, because what I saw in him at that particular time, they call him Sheruban, which I might not even understand what it means exactly. Every poor person in Osun State, especially in Osogbo and Ade, they retire to his house. The government house is not this type that you lock up your doors. He was keeping...
Please, Honorable Woodil, please.
He was keeping his gate open. You wouldn't know the difference between the governor and the commissioner and even a youth corps. So, Mr. Speaker, it is very sad that the people of Abia is mourning today their great son because the mother is from Abia. It is also important for us also to realize that once you pass through this path, what you acquire is not what you're going to be remembered. If you see what is happening today in Osun State, especially Ede, you will think, what is it? People are crying because of the kind of life he lived. He was a lover of poor, very humane, always laughing, even when he came to National Assembly, when he was chairman of INEC. People were asking, how could somebody who was chairman of INEC don't get victory, so to speak? He was somebody that would allow things to flow naturally. He doesn't hold tight to anything. He was always in his good mood, a giver. At that particular time, when I was serving under his office, you will not know that I didn't grow up in his family, that I was not his daughter. Not just me, every copper in Osun State at that time. He took us as his own children. Every Thursday, he retires in his home and invites all the coppers. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, for me today, I lost somebody who I will call a mentor. Because it was from him was the first shot I experienced that one can be in power and can also be humane. Because Dr. Isiaka Adeleke, the governor, did not have a separate plate. He was eating where the downtrodden was eating. He was drinking where the downtrodden was. As a governor, he didn't have a special cup. You can take your plate to take food. You come and say, nyam, nyam, nyam. I said, I've used this one. Like, give me. Or say, oh, it's your plate. I say, it doesn't matter. You just sit down and start it. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, this is somebody that I know that had loved his people and had sacrificed a lot to represent his people, even while he was here in the Senate. So, Mr. Speaker, one thing that is left for us to learn is that this world, we are pilgrims, sojourners. You don't know when it will come. For death is a necessary end. It will come when it shall come. Look at somebody who traveled to his constituency, went to hospital by himself. Within few hours, we are talking stories. It's a wake-up call for us as people to know that, yes, we are living, we have powers, but God is the ultimate. God decides what, and He is the giver of life. He knows the end from the beginning. So it's a wake-up call for us to give our life to Christ, knowing that after here, there's judgment. Today, yes, people are celebrating Him, but it is only God knows what His account is with Him. So I urge my colleagues that it is a wake-up call for us to resort back to our Creator, surrender our lives to Christ, knowing that we might see somebody today, or we might be here today, we may not be here tomorrow. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, on this note, I pray for the repose of his soul. I pray that God will console his families, that God will take care of the people that he has left behind, that God in his infinite mercy will console them, because if God does not, there's nothing anybody can do. So we pray that God would show mercy on his family. God will take care of his children. And of course, we also pray, I pray that God will not allow this to happen to that family, because...
Please, members, please take your seats. Please. Honourable members, please.
Family, for obvious reasons that people may not know, I pray a special prayer that death shall not visit that family again in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Honourable Ede Yusuf, Mrs.
Of Kaba, Mojeed Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, like you rightly said, Senator Isiaka Adeleke was the Senate Chairman, Capital Market, and I, by the leave of the leadership of the House and God, I'm the Chairman, House Committee, Capital Market. But our path first crossed about 20-something years ago, Mr. Speaker. I was still a student in University of Jos, and the SDP convention was in Jos. Then, being a very, very committed member of National Association of Nigerian Student Movement, we were opposed, or were not too committed to the democratic incursion that was ongoing there. However, when the convention came to Jos, efforts were made by the two parties, NAS and SDP, to reach out to student leaders to see if they could find their buy-in. And I was one of those. The then SDP presidential candidate son, Abiola Sokola Abiola, reached out to the University of Jos. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, my first encounter with him shocked me to my marrow. There were about 14 SDP governors then, if you recall, and I also had about 16. And I guess only 3 were supporting the aspiration of MK Abiola. Oshoba, Isiaka, Adeleke, and Ishola, the Oyo State governor. So while they were going around to canvass for votes, he would jump into the car as a sitting governor at that time. He was the one driving. You have Oshoba by his side in front, Abiola and Ishola behind. And now, how can a governor drive himself? I took that and I asked question. I was told that this is a governor with a difference, who does not allow the office grant his soul rest, eternal rest, give his family the grace for it to bear this irreparable loss. I must end on this note that the people of Osun must see this as an opportunity to come together more than ever before. Use his death to build bridges and realize that 2019, though it looks far, it's good to have ambition, but God, it's only God that determines who gets where, who does not get where. All we do as mortals is to satisfy our righteousness. He knows those who will be where and those who will not be where. We must submit to God in all that we do, knowing that He is the author and finisher of every man's faith, and His thought of us are of good and not of evil. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues.
Agbonyima, representing the good people of Ego, Bubaka Federal Constituency, Edo State. Mr. Speaker, sir, today we are talking about a man who came to this world. That is Alhaji Senator, His Excellency Adeleke. He came, he conquered, he achieved, he delivered. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, every one of us here, we must check our heart and check our soul. Tomorrow, can people speak about us like all that have heard so far today. When he was alive, was there anyone who probably went to him and told him, Your Excellency, Alhaji Senator, you are a great man. You have done well for this nation. At his younger age, he was a governor. Today, he has gone to meet the Almighty. Nigerians, my honorable colleagues, my question to you all, can you be remembered for one thing? Because nobody will live here, Mr. Speaker, forever. There is time to be born. There is time to die. It is what you are able to leave behind that people will remember you for. And I am happy, I am glad, as a former diaspora who lived outside the soil of this country, came back to his country to deliver, to contribute his own quota to the development of this great nation. And I believe something good can come out of Nigeria.
Honourable members, please.
On that note, Mr.
Silence,
Speaker,
please.
honourable colleagues,
Honourable
let
members,
us go
please.
back home today
Please.
to treat others the way you want to be treated. Be our brothers' keepers. Love those around you. Try to emulate what Senator Adeleke left for us, because he left a legacy that will always be remembered in this country. I want to congratulate the state of Osun for having a child. All over the world today, people are talking about this man having paid a very huge price to bring dividends of democracy to the yearning of his people. May God bless him. May his soul rest in perfect peace. That those that he left behind, God will guide them, protect them, take them to the highest level. That at the end of the day, we will also see the children, the family he left behind, they are also wonderful. Please, my honorable colleagues, take a moment to think about yourself, that do to others the way you want to be do unto. Respect your fellow brothers and sisters. If we do that, Nigeria will move to a greater height. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my dear colleagues.
Rahim, alhamdulillah, rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahman Rahim, Maliki yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim, ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Qul Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Qul Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Qul Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen.
Let us pray. In Jesus' name. Lord God Almighty, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for giving Nigeria Senator Isiaka Adeleke. We thank you for allowing him to play his part well in this country.
Amen.
Father God, we thank you for all his achievements in life. We thank you even for calling him to eternal rest at this point in time. For from you we came, unto you we shall all report. Father, we commit his family, his loved ones, his associates, and even those of us who were his colleagues in this National Assembly into thy able hands. We ask, Lord, that this affliction should not recur again in the lives of all of us. Amen. Help us, Lord, to live our lives to the fullest. Help his family to not witness any untimely death again. Amen. let all those associated with him, one way or the other, be allowed to live their lives to the fullest and to ripe old age. Lord God, as we mourn him, we ask that you give his immediate family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Lord, grant his soul eternal rest, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Who is this person? Muy magana jar. Mu ya kira mu email din.
Where are you going to? I'm sorry. It's my pen, no? It's my pen. Yes, it's not. We don't know the formula he applied. Well, according to your certificate, we don't know the formula. No, I didn't mention that. That's what we still call the attention
Baya nan ayyodi. Baya can ba. Wasu ce baya can ba. Wasu ce baya can ba. Sai dai damu arrangin dai kawai. Bari kira wannan mana. Kai arrangin. Haka